Bouncing ball, that's diving stop. Is Turris thrown to first? For the out! And the ball game is over.
The Brewers will take the walk-off defense into tonight's game 2. A beautiful Tuesday night here in the city of Milwaukee as we welcome you to Miller Park, the Houston Astros and Milwaukee Brewers, and take a look at rookie left-hander Dallas Keuchel and veteran right-hander Giovanni Gallardo set to battle on the mound. Yo has won each of his last 8 starts against the Astros. Ryan Braun back in the lineup after missing yesterday's game. Blisters on that left hand, of course. Leads the National League with 28 home runs. Davey and Craig back on board if you hear on Fox Sports Wisconsin. And what a game last night for Milwaukee. Kind of lifeless, if you will, through the first 6 innings offensively. But in that 7th inning, got things going thanks to a home run bat from an unlikely source last night, Davey.
Well, that's right. Nigel Morgan got a pitch and, hit it out the yard. Steamroll things. Things started to happen, and that's what has to happen if you're going to break out of any kind of funk that you have. And then, of course, the Ramirez with that hit, boy. And then this is the play I love. The hustle double by Jonathan Lucroy really ignited things. And look at this right here. Man, nice play. And Jonathan Lucroy read that perfectly. Beats the throw. Then he comes home on a nice little squiver. Things are really steamrolling for the Brewers. And then with the big home run by Cody Ransom, thought it was going to seal the deal, And then all of a sudden the Brewers had trouble once again. But what hurt them were walks in that inning. Came back, Then all of a sudden this defensive play. Oh, it's not that defensive play. This is the play I'm looking for. No, it's not either, Craig. But this is, oh yeah, here we got that sacrifice fly. Now watch this right here. Everybody's on pins and needles right now. And then there's the ball hitting the hole. Cesar Torres, what a play by Corey on the pickup. Everybody's saying, oh no, here we go again. But it took a great play by Cesar Torres on his end, and then on the other end by Corey Hart to nip it in the bud. The Brewers get the victory, and this can ignite things and turn it around for that bullpen.
What a final 3 innings for Milwaukee. You got to have Hart. Corey Hart has been an all-star with his bat. Might be just a gold glover over at first base defensively. being rocked at board. We come back.
home improvement needs at Menards. By Miller Lite, because when friends come together, it's not just a good time, it's Miller time. By Toyota, when you choose Toyota, you get a lot for less. Toyota. And by AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. Just about ready for the game's first pitch tonight, and it is Yovani Gallardo, the Brewers' opening day starter, who is on the mound. You see his last 2 starts, he has struggled a little bit. A couple of losses. He had it going pretty well through the previous 7, but right now Gallardo at 8-8. Corey Hart back in the lineup. He's having a great run on this homestand, a couple of home runs. He has been spectacular at first base. And hi, everybody. Brian Anderson along with Bill Schroeder. Great to have you with us tonight. It is the defense of Corey Hart that we focus on tonight, because Corey Hart is playing at a level that I don't think anybody expected when we broke spring training, Rock. And as a matter of fact, with his start tonight, it'll be his 50th. He's played more first base than right field this year.
Yeah, it's been unbelievable watching Corey Hart. When he first went over there, a little bit nervous. He was fighting himself a little bit. But he has been incredible, and one of the reasons why the Brewers defense has been so strong in the last couple of months has been the defense by Corey, saving a lot of errors for that infield, that big wingspan, you know, hauling in throws that ordinarily would be over their heads, and it's been incredible watching Corey. And really, the subtleties of first base he's been able to handle extremely well, cutoffs, knowing where to be in a position, and it's been a lot of fun to watch him. One of the reasons why the Brewers have been playing so well defensively.
Yeah, the Brewers are 5th in the league in defense, 5th fewest errors in the National League. Gallardo is ready to go tonight, trying to get it turned around. He's 8-8, a chance to win his 9th against the Houston Astros. Game 2 coming up next. At Miller Park, Milwaukee, and the second to last game before the homestand ends. It wraps up tomorrow afternoon. Brewers Astros once again tonight. There's Brad Mills. Been a very long season for the Houston Astros. They are in dead last in the Central Division, the worst record in all of baseball. And the Brewers trying to win for the second consecutive game. Jose Altuve leads off, and a swing and a miss, and away we go. Gallardo against Dallas Keuchel for the Astros tonight, a left-hander in his first year in the big leagues. Gallardo pitching against a team from his home state of Texas, and has typically had pretty good success against the Astros. Altuve leads off. Marlon Gonzalez, Steve Pearce. It's Brett Wallace, Justin Maxwell, and Scott Moore in the middle, with Chris Schneider, Jordan Schaefer, Dallas Keuchel rounding it out. That's a Piggly Wiggly batting order for Brad Mills. As Altuve looks at one away. Ball and 2 strikes. Gallardo coming in, Rock, his 22nd start of the season, and he's trying to break the 500 mark with a victory tonight.
Yeah, last 2 starts have been rough ones. His last time out against the Nationals here at Miller Park. 7 earned runs in 5 innings.
Aramis Ramirez, a long throw in time for the out. That's how the night begins for Giovanni Gallardo. Here are the Brewers defensively. Braun's back in the lineup tonight. Gomez in center, Aoki in right. An infield of Ramirez, Ransom, Weeks, and Hart. And Martin Maldonado gets the call behind the plate tonight. The Menards Brewers defense. Brian Knight, he's the one who made the out call last night. The last play of the game. That was a great call. He's calling balls and strikes this evening. Wally Bell, Mike Winters, and Mark Wegner join him on the bases.
Yeah, a lot of close calls last night for the umpiring crew, and the replays show they got them all right.
Not that surprises us. Craig and Davey had a nice piece on the umpires in our Brewers Live pregame show. Those were some tough calls. They went the way of the Brewers, and Milwaukee was able to escape last night with an 8-7 victory over the Astros. Only the second win on this homestand for the Brewers, dropping 3 games to the Nationals. Still 2 to play on this homestand. A favorite opponent of Giovanni Gallardo, the Houston Astros, seems to be at his best, especially when the Brewers are in Texas.
Well, Giovanni is 11-2 against the Houston Astros in 13 starts. And he's won his last 8 starts in a row against the Astros.
2 balls and a strike on Marwin Gonzalez, and it's 3-1. Gallardo is from Fort Worth, Texas. It's about 3 hours north of Houston. Grew up more of a Rangers fan than an Astros fan. But every time we go to Houston, a lot of the Gallardo family is there, making the drive down from Fort Worth. Giovanni was born in Mexico, came to the States at the age of 3. His dad was in construction, a plumber, and wanted a better life for his son. So Mexican born but Texas raised Gallardo. Well, against teams in the Central Division, Gallardo, his favorite opponent, the Houston Astros, as far as wins goes. 11-2 career, a 2.72 earned run average. He's always had great success against the Pirates as well.
Yeah, look at that line against the St. Louis Cardinals. That's incredible, isn't it? They have his number. No doubt about that.
Got him a couple of times this year. That ball's well hit. Gomez right there. Out number 2. Well, this is why we love Wisconsin on a day like this. Just gorgeous. Sun shining brightly today, temperature dipping into the 70s, and you just couldn't ask for better playing conditions, better viewing conditions.
Yep, things have greened up nicely around Milwaukee. We had some rain in the last few days, and all the brown grass, at least around my house, all gone.
We got the State Fair coming up, and we've got our first batch of State Fair cream puffs, a little advance offering.
Yep, our buddy Jim Lombardo from Bell Ambulance, boxes and boxes of them. We wonder what's going to happen down in that truck tonight.
Yeah.
About a crate of cream puffs ended up down there about a half an hour before the game.
See those eyes roll back in the head like the shark right before it eats its prey. And yeah, they're all gone, is the report from the truck. Ball and a strike on Steve Pearce. Astros just acquired Pierce from the Orioles. They had taken him off their roster, and the Astros snatched him up. He had a big game yesterday. Drove in 3 runs, had 2 hits, 2 for 3 at the plate, made a great catch in foul territory.
And nearly hit one out against John Axford in the 9th inning. Took Aoki back to the fence and right. And Nori able to haul it in. Axford able to get that final out.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Gallardo with 2 outs in the first. Trying to make it a clean inning here, as that one's in the dirt. Big day of trade activity in Major League Baseball. That's the headliner on this day. And a lot of players swapping teams, and those that are in contention picking up some big pieces. We'll chronicle some of the bigger trades as we continue through our broadcast today. Trade deadline was 3 o'clock Central. That's a hot one out to his Ransom. On his feet, low throw, dug out by Corey Hart right on cue. Excellent play by the Brewers shortstop, Cody Ransom. And a 1-2-3 inning for Giovanni Gallardo. Brewers defense has been outstanding, especially since Corey Hart took over at first base. Trying to get this club turned around a little bit, trying to get that bullpen turned around a little bit. They were able to squeeze a win out of it last night. Here's the Piggly Wiggly batting order for Game 2 of this series for Ron Renicky. Aoki, Gomez, and Braun. Ryan Braun back in there after he was scratched yesterday. And then Ramirez, Hart, and Weeks in the middle with Maldonado, Cody Ransom at short. Giovanni Gallardo rounding it out. And there is Dallas Keuchel out of the University of Arkansas in his rookie season in the big leagues.
Yep, his second stint with the Astros. His first 3 starts very good. His last 3 have not been very good. They brought him up from AAA where he's 6-4.
As Nori Aoki leads off, takes a strike. Nori comes in with a batting average of .278. Has 6 home runs and 24 driven in. Homered on Sunday against Washington. 5 of his home runs have gone over the fence, and he has the one inside the Parker this year. That was his first ever major league home run. Well, he's been a nice find for the Brewers, Aoki. Going through a little bit of a lull here, and sometimes get into a long season. The travel is a lot more extensive in Major League Baseball than it is over in Japan, especially where Aoki played in the Central League of Japan. He was right there in Tokyo. They have 3 teams in Tokyo. Aoki played for the Yakult Swallows. There's a base hit back up the middle. So Nori Aoki with a single. And a man on to start it for the Brewers offensively tonight.
Yeah, the splits for Dallas Keuchel very interesting in that left-handers are hitting him at a .343 clip. Right-handers only .216. Kind of has you scratching your head as to why. It's surprising that the Brewers don't have more left-handers in their starting lineup tonight. Aoki the only one.
Well, the Brewers facing him for the first time for the most part, having seen what they could see on video. Well, Keuchel is one of those rare sinker ballers, a left-handed sinker ball pitcher. Kind of an odd combination.
It tries to work the outside corner. They say he has a very good changeup and perhaps doesn't like throwing it too much to lefties. They say that's his best pitch, is changeup. A lot of guys, young guys, don't like to throw the off speed to left-handed batters if they're left-handed. You take away his best pitch, sometimes has trouble.
There's a bunt by Gomez, and he'll be tagged out. Brett Wallace comes in to make the tag for the out. It'll go as a sacrifice for Gomez. Just a little too much heat on that one. Defensively for Houston, Justin Maxwell, Jordan Schaefer, and Steve Pearce. Scott Moore, Marwin Gonzalez, Jose Altuve, and Brett Wallace around the horn with Chris Snyder, veteran catcher, behind the plate with the 24-year-old Dallas Keuchel. Ryan Braun back in the starting lineup. A blister on his left hand, and it's more than it sounds. Rock, you had a chance to talk to him today. He's taken some measures to try to protect that left hand, his bottom hand.
He got a little pad right along his pinky up to his wrist, and a lot of times, you know, you're right on the end of that bat. You get that knob, it kind of digs into the flesh of the bottom of your hand. It's the left hand that is actually on the bottom of the bat. He's got a pad on it that he only uses when he's swinging the bat up at the plate. He says today's the first day in 5 days he's taken batting practice.
He's been trying to stay in the lineup and protect that hand, but yesterday Ron Renicky and Ryan Braun just coming together, deciding that it'd be good to get a day off and try to get some healing in that area. But I would imagine for any major league hitter, especially a guy like Ryan Braun, who can literally feel the difference in ounces of the bat, to have anything extra on your elbow or your hand or your wrist has to have him thinking just a little bit at the plate. Hopefully it won't affect him too much.
Hey, you'd like to be able to feel that bat in your hands, and he has that pad between his hand and the bat, and it's just a different feel, a different, you know, swing for him, and you don't know how long he's going to have to deal with it.
Now Braun has a runner at second after the sac bunt by Gomez, and a little changeup away. 3 balls and no strikes on Ryan Braun. Braun with a .309 batting average. He's inside the top 10 in batting average in the National League. His 28 homers leads the National League. And the 70 RBI is good enough for 4th, as he walks on 4 straight, so he didn't have to swing the bat at all, and he is aboard. Nothing wrong with his legs right now. Brewers have good speed on the backs. That's what the home run leaderboard looks like with Braun out in front. Corey Hart has hit 2 on this homestand and now 19 for the year. Ramos Ramirez, Ricky Weeks, Carlos Gomez round out the list.
And Brewers still lead the National League in home runs.
Ramirez home run numbers are a little bit down, but his doubles are up, and he comes in with a .288 batting average. In mid-May he was hitting .218. Both runners take off. The throw goes to second. Easy steal for Ryan Braun. So Aoki swipes third without a throw. Braun into second base, and just like that, 2 in scoring position for Ramirez.
Hey, get a young guy coming in making his start. He has struggled. He's given up 15 runs in his last 3 starts. Not worried too much about base runners, just trying to throw strikes.
That stolen base for Braun is 19th. That ties him with Gomez for the team high. Aoki number 13. And an early RBI opportunity for Ramos Ramirez. Ramirez has 35 doubles this season, second only to Joey Votto in the National League. He's 1 behind Votto. Lyle Overbay has the franchise record, 53, and Ramirez is on a pace to break that record.
And if he stays healthy, he should come pretty close. 2 months left after today. Tomorrow, then we get into August. But July's been a pretty good month for Aramis Ramirez.
He is going to finish with big numbers in the month. He's having a great homestand. Ramirez is 8 for 16 at the plate. That includes a home run, 3 runs batted in. And that one's in the left field. A base hit. Aoki will score. Braun will be held around third base. An RBI single for Aramis Ramirez, and the Brewers are on the board first tonight.
Yep, RBI number 73 for Aramis Ramirez, who waited back nicely on this off-speed pitch. That cut fastball, something off speed. Ramirez out in front just a little bit, but able to hook it in the left. Hits it pretty hard one-handed, and because of that, Ryan Braun has to stay at third base.
Aoki's safe at home, safe and secure. New York Life. 1-0 Crew on the Ramirez RBI, and now Corey Hart. First and third with 1 away. Hart making his 50th start at first base here tonight. 49 starts in right field.
Has yet to commit an error, and even further than that, he has saved a lot of errors for the middle infielders. Cody Ransom in that last play, a short hop. Corey able to pick it, and pretty much saved the day yesterday with that nice pick on that his tourist throw.
Well, Hart is also swinging the bat well this year. He's putting up terrific numbers once again. You can find him inside the top 10 in the league in a few categories. He's 4th in the league in extra base hits this year, 8th in total bases. He's 9th in home runs with 19. Broke his bat, bouncing ball to second. Altuve to Gonzalez over to first for a double play. Inning ends, the Brewers get a run. 1-0 Milwaukee. Giovanni Gallardo retiring the Astros in order in the first. Couple of well-hit balls in that frame. But a 3-up, 3-down inning.
Hey, purchase a Corey's Corner ticket package for $35. It includes your field outfield ticket and a Corey Hart t-shirt. A portion of the proceeds benefit the American Heart Association. Visit brewers.com/heart.
Brett Wallace will lead off for Houston. Gallardo trying to get things turned around on the mound. It's on a pretty good run for the Brewers. Had a string of starts where he pitched at least 6 innings in every start for 14 consecutive games.
And 17 of 19 in his last 2 starts. He's not been able to do that. 5 2/3 against Cincinnati and 5 innings against the Nationals.
He's coming off a start giving up 7 runs in those 5 innings. He has suffered back-to-back losses to a couple of first place teams, the Reds and the Nationals, giving up 11 earned runs in his last 10 2/3 innings. So hoping for a turnaround here tonight as Wallace beats one into the ground over to Weeks. 1 away. And we had a chance to visit with Giovanni yesterday. We asked him about his recent struggles and perhaps turning it around tonight.
Just seems like, just giving up a weak base hit or something like that. Something I'm falling your way. Next thing you know, you have 2-3 guys on and you give up that big hit. But it's just a matter of, staying focused and making pitches whenever I need to.
Well, he's certainly been able to do that in his career against the Astros. We mentioned 11-2. Not a bad record. He's won 8 in a row. Seems to save his best stuff for the Astros.
Well, his last 3 outings, had a good game against the Pittsburgh Pirates. That was a record day for Gallardo. He had 14 strikeouts that day, which was a career high. He's been matching up against some of the best teams in the National League here recently. Pirates, Reds, Nationals. 8-8 with a 4.07 ERA coming into play. And he's a part of a pitching staff that is racking up a ton of strikeouts this season. Gallardo has more strikeouts than innings pitched to begin play today. 128 strikeouts in 126 innings. Ground ball to second once again. 2 up, 2 down as Justin Maxwell is retired.
And the Brewers lead the National League in strikeouts as a pitching staff, and a lot of that has to do with Giovanni Gallardo. Of course, Greinke had something to do about that. He's gone, but Marco Estrada and Mike Fiers, 2 big surprises that have, both of them been able to rack up the big numbers. The Brewers have struck out 885 hitters this year, best in the NL.
And we'll see Fiers on the mound tomorrow. It's his turn, and he'll have the final game of this series. There's Mike Fiers. Best ERA in the National League among rookies. And he'll put that on the line tomorrow against Houston.
1.77. That's not too bad. 10 starts for Mike.
Two outs for Scott Moore. Little jam shot. Hart knocks it down. Gallardo's there. That's the kind of play we're talking about. That's some unusual spin on it. Hart just puts his body in front of it and makes the play to end the inning. 3 ground ball outs for Giovanni Gallardo. second inning. The NFL is back, and Fox's preseason coverage begins on Thursday, August 16th. It's the Bengals and the Falcons. And then on Friday, August 17th, the Lions head to Baltimore to square off against the Ravens. Coverage of both games begins at 7 p.m. Central only on Fox. A football promo. That's the first one of the year. It's getting to be that time. Ricky Weeks leads off the bottom of the second inning. Brewers scoring a run on an RBI single from Ramirez in the first. It'll be Weeks, Maldonado, and Cody Ransom to start it against left-hander Dallas Keuchel. Weeks hitting .207 to begin play today. On base percentage of .323. Has 11 homers, 37 runs batted in. Took the collar yesterday, was 0 for 3, but on this homestand, Weeks is 6 for 17 at the plate. That includes a home run. He's driven in 3.
As we've been talking about now for what, about 6 weeks, he's been getting better swings. He's staying on the baseball a little bit longer and driving the ball back into center field. Not trying to pull the ball as much. Every hitter will tell you that that's the most important thing. Johnny Naron and Ricky Weeks have been working hard all season long to try and get back into the groove, and Ricky's starting to find it again.
Start of the year is the leadoff hitter. 14 games in the leadoff spot in the Brewers batting order. He was dropped down at that point, and he's kind of gone back and forth between mostly 6th, occasionally 7th. Renicky early in the season searching for the right combination with the batting order. That settled down a little bit. The Brewers have actually swung the bat well during this stretch. They've been able to score some runs over the last 8 games. They've averaged over 5.5 runs a game. Unfortunately, they're 2-6 in that stretch.
Yeah, they've been playing some good baseball. You talk to Ron Renicky, he's very pleased with the way his guys have been playing. Good defense. The starting pitching's been very good. There's just been one area that they've had a tough time with, and that's why they haven't been able to win.
Weeks draws the walk. Second walk issued by Keuchel.
And Keuchel's not going to blow you away with velocity. He's in the mid to upper 80s. Might touch 90 from time to time, but he'll cut the fastball. Got a good curve. His changeup's his best off-speed pitch. He had very good command of his pitches in his first 3 starts. First 3 starts, he had a complete game in there. That was his second big league start. He would combine 3 runs in 3 starts, but it's been much different since.
Martin Maldonado now. Well, Keuchel won 6 games in the minor leagues prior to his call up. Been up and down a couple of times for the Astros. Making a 7th start in the big leagues here tonight. Got off to a great start. Gave up just 3 earned runs in his first 3 starts and went the distance against the Cleveland Indians. That was his first big league win. He went all 9 in interleague play. His first start in the major leagues against the Texas Rangers, and he held the heavy hitting Rangers to just 1 run in 5 innings. He's been giving up some runs here lately. 15 earned runs in his last 3 starts.
Yeah, that covers 15 innings. So he's been giving up a lot of runs, hasn't been able to pitch too deep in games, and it's all about command for Keuchel. He's not going to be a guy that's going to challenge you when he gets behind in the count. He's got more walks than strikeouts coming in. No strikeouts tonight, 2 walks, has 21 strikeouts and 21 walks, 13 strikeouts.
So a lot of balls in play against Keuchel. There's a strike to Maldonado. Maldonado with a batting average of .269, 5 home runs, 19 driven in, 160 big league at bats this season. He was called up in late May to replace the injured Jonathan Lucroy, and he swung the bat and played so well that he earned a spot on this roster for the rest of the season. As a matter of fact, the Brewers took George Kataris off the major league roster in a move called designated for assignment, and then eventually traded Kataris to the Oakland Athletics. And as they ease Lucroy back from his broken hand, this is the first homestand he has been back in action after 2 months on the DL, alternating time with Maldonado at this point. And Maldonado draws a walk. Back-to-back walks to start the second inning. And that'll bring up Cody Ransom, who has been giving Ron Renicky some power at the bottom of the order, and he went deep again last night. And it was one that the Brewers desperately needed, as it turned out. That was his 9th homer, his 5th as a Brewer. And at the time, it gave the Brewers a 4-run lead. Astros would score 3 in the 9th. And the Brewers were able to win by 1 run, 8-7. They needed all of those 3 runs that Ransom knocked in.
He hasn't been really much for the batting average, but he does have some pop in that bat for a shortstop. Hit that one a long way last night.
Has a grand slam this year. He has 2 on with nobody out here in the second inning.
And not much command for Keuchel so far. He's not going to mess around with too much of the plate. He's got to be on the corners, and he's not been able to find it.
And a pickoff at second. Astros tried that a number of times last night, to no avail. Always seems like a numbers game. The more often you throw over there, one is bound to end up in center field.
Or you end up throwing one right down to the middle to the hitter.
Ball and a strike on Ransom. Ransom made a nice play defensively in the first inning. He's been a solid shortstop. He strikes out a lot, but he does bring that power threat. Brewers lost their starting shortstop, Alex Gonzalez, in May. The guy they had signed to play that position every day. That was a big loss for the Brewers, but Ransom has done a nice job. He and Cesar Turris, especially defensively. You don't lose much defensively with those two. Ransom's able to play third base as well when Aramis Ramirez needs a day off.
Even with Jeff Bianchi at shortstop, the Brewers have some pretty good defensive players up the middle.
Ransom into center field, backing up on it, Schaefer. He's got it. Weeks will tag. And he'll make it without a throw. So Weeks advances. A fly ball out for Cody Ransom. 1 away in the inning. And the pitcher Gallardo coming up. Gallardo with 1 away. Former Silver Slugger Award winner. An An award given to the best hitter at that position. That was back in 2010. Gallardo hit .254 that season. And the bunt is on. It's a good one right down the line. A squeeze bunt works to perfection, and Gallardo is safe.
Wow, nice play. Nice bunt by Giovanni Gallardo. I think Brett Wallace might have just been better off letting that one go. Kind of hit the edge of the grass. It looked like it might be trickling into foul territory. Great jump off of third base by Ricky Weeks, and yet another squeeze play by the Brewers. What's that, 10 now? It's a safety squeeze. Once it hit the grass, and that ball had a chance to go foul. And it might be a base hit for Giovanni Gallardo. Let's see what they give him. No chance for Ricky. And a tough play for Altuve. Probably couldn't see the baseball.
Well, Wallace got his feet all tangled up there and was unable to put anything on that throw. So here is Aoki now, and he takes a strike. 2-0 Brewers. That'll be a base hit for Gallardo and an RBI. Third RBI for Giovanni Gallardo. A bunt single.
That's a tough ball to bunt, too. That was right at his hip. He squared around as if to sacrifice. Ricky read it pretty well, or very well, down the first baseline. And he scored easily.
Keuchel in trouble. 2 on, just 1 out. Aoki at the plate. He singled off Keuchel in the first inning and stole a base and scored a run.
Now you talk about the Brewers playing well. That includes running the bases. Defense has been good. Starting pitching's been good. Offense has been good. They've been very aggressive. Lucroy scored on a swinging bunt yesterday from third base. And getting good jumps, good secondary leads, and have been taking the extra base.
Now the late inning relief, the collapse of the bullpen has really overshadowed what has been some pretty good baseball by the Brewers. You know, you go through these games, and if you've been with us, you know this, that Brewers have been in a position just about every night to win games. Get some timely hitting, scoring a lot of runs. Offense comes and goes, but for the most part, the Brewers have been able to swing the bats. Back to the box, go to second for 1. The relay to first is in time. And another double play for Dallas Keuchel, but the Brewers do score. It's 2-0 Milwaukee. At the plate, a successful squeeze bunt, giving the Brewers a 2-0 lead. And Rock, no manager in recent memory utilizes the squeeze bunt more than Ron Renneke. Maybe no manager in the history of baseball in the modern era.
Yeah.
10 successful squeeze bunts this year for the Brewers.
Yeah, a combination of good base running. Aoki has been a part of most of them this year, or a large portion of them. And the pitchers have been able to drop down their bunts. There's Aoki once again. Look at the jump these guys are getting off of third base. And a good bunt, all you got to do is get it down. And the Brewers able to get a bunch of runs in that fashion, 10 of them this year. And this is the one tonight.
To read and react, and you see these fielders who are making these plays. There's such an urgency to try to save a run, even though on most occasions, an out at the plate is really not an option, but these fielders are putting themselves in some awkward positions to be able to make a throw to first to even get it out at all. And that's what happened with Gallardo, who reaches on an infield hit and gets credit for an RBI because of it.
And one of the reasons why infielders are they're not used to it. They're startled when it happens. They're not sure what to do. It's a combination of getting the sign from the dugout, Ed Cedar giving the sign to the hitter, and the Brewers do it a lot differently than most teams. Most teams are going to ask for an acknowledgement sign from the hitter to the third base coach, letting Eddie Cedar know that they have the sign. The Brewers don't do that. They feel as though any kind of a sign like that would give it away. There have been times it hasn't worked, but there hasn't been that often.
To read and react from the runner at third. So, you know, the squeeze bunt used to be all about the batter, the bunter, and he had the pressure. But with the safety squeeze, the bunter can always pull the bat back. He can take a pitch. If it's a pitch he can't bunt or doesn't feel like he can get down properly, he can pull it back. And really the onus is on the base runner at that point to read the baseball.
You know, when you have that sign, that safety squeeze sign, and you're a runner at third base and you have a guy squaring around, a catcher very rarely is going to try and pick you off at third base. First of all, you can't see all that well because the batter's squared around the bunt.
Chris Snyder sends one deep left center field. Braun is running out of real estate. And the first Astros hit is a home run by their catcher. Snyder with his 5th home run. And it's 2-1 Brewers.
Well, he does pack some punch into that bat. He's only got now 5 home runs, but that fastball up right down the middle of the plate. Snyder able to center on it pretty well, got under it, but he's so big and strong it's able to carry out of here into that Brewers bullpen. One of the bigger catchers that you'll see in baseball.
Here's Jordan Schaefer. Fouls one off to the left side.
Hey, for $20, get 1 ticket to the Brewers game on August 17th. 1 voucher for selected Wisconsin Timber Rattler games, plus a free T-shirt. Visit Brewers.com/Timber Rattlers. Just to finish the point on getting a jump off of third base on the safety squeeze, because a catcher really, his vision of the runner at third base is kind of cut off because of the hitter squaring around. You can get a little bit extra on your lead at third on a play like that. You know, because you can creep off a little bit further, you can read the bunt, and you don't have as far to go to score.
It's been a very effective play for the Brewers this year, especially when you get down to the bottom of the order, trying to create some runs down there. I was talking to Renneke about the nature of the injuries, and really the injuries that occurred for the Brewers were hitters down at the bottom of the order. Lucroy, Gamble, Alex Gonzalez, those were the 3 big injuries, and those were all run producers with power. And he said he probably wouldn't be using the squeeze as much if all those hitters were healthy and in the lineup, but because of the injuries he's had to be a little more creative in his mind. Quick trip to the mound from Maldonado. After the home run, Gallardo walks Jordan Schaefer.
Of course, we're talking about a right-handed hitter dropping down a bunt, kind of getting in the way of the catcher. But the other thing that happens when a hitter squares around, what's the first thing a third baseman does? Charges, right? So there's really nobody to really throw to if you trickle off that bag a little bit.
Keuchel is hitless in the big leagues, and he is bunting. That is a fair ball. Maldonado will take the out at first base, trying to hustle on it quickly, maybe to have a chance at a double play.
That ball is about 6 inches in front of home plate. I think Maldonado actually kicked it.
Sacrifice bunt for Keuchel. Advances Jordan Schaefer. Check it out here.
Check it out. How far does this ball go in front of home plate? And just kind of grabbed it with a hand and then kicked it with his shin guard. That's about an inch in front of home plate. He finally is able to get it out at first.
Now Schaefer, the runner who was on his way to second, is very fast, so Maldonado knew he had one chance. Had to hurry with that pickup.
And had he did, he would have gotten a double play.
Tying run at second. Brewers have bounced into 2 double plays already offensively. And each occasion had runners at first and third with 1 out, so they've left some opportunities out there despite the 2 runs on the board early. The Brewer killer, Jose Altuve. He's got his batting average pushing 300 now, the all-star second baseman. Feels like he's hitting double that against the Brewers this season.
Yeah, very tough to strike out. He's got a pretty good eye at the plate. He can run, give you an infield hit, and has pretty good opposite field, not power, but he drives the ball the other way pretty well. Hitting almost 500 against the Brewers this year. 18 for 38.
That one missed, and it's 3 balls and a strike on Altuve. Those are the numbers in 9 games against Milwaukee this season. A fast runner at second. Last night Altuve was 2 for 3. He drove in a run. He scored 3 runs last night. He trails only Robinson Cano among major league second basemen in hits this year. Altuve has 115 hits. Robinson Cano of the Yankees, thought to be one of the greatest offensive second basemen in the game, has 121 hits as Altuve takes a called strike 3. Down he goes.
Yeah, best curveball tonight so far for Giovanni Gallardo. On a 3-2 pitch, catches the outside corner with it. That's a beauty. Good job by Maldonado catching it out in front of him, keeping that pitch close to home plate. Wasn't expecting that pitch, was he?
That is the first strikeout for Gallardo. Schaefer still at second for Marwin Gonzalez. Switch hitting shortstop for the Astros. He's been getting a lot of playing time here lately. The injury to Jed Lowry, the starting shortstop. Astros going deep into their minor league system to fill out this major league roster. They've had a lot of trades leading up to the trade deadline, and 2 of their starters are out with injuries as well. Jed Lowry, who has an ankle injury, and Jason Castro, the catcher. In the air, deep center field, but Gomez has room, and Gallardo is out of it. A run scores on a Chris Schneider homer. 2-1 Milwaukee. The Brewers are coming up. Wisconsin is presented by Piggly Wiggly, the official supermarket of Fox Sports Wisconsin. By Ho-Chunk Gaming Wisconsin, your ticket to more. And by Marshfield Clinic. Don't just live, shine. Chris Schneider putting the Astros on the board for the first time. The only hit so far for Houston is Gomez drives one right center field. This is way back, and it is off the wall. Gomez into second with a double. And his hot hitting continues. The reigning National League Player of the Week. Add another double to the list.
Waiting back nicely. He's got that big swing and got a pitch down in the strike zone and drove it off the wall in the right center. And Gomez doing a nice job hitting the ball where it's pitched, and he hits that one with authority off the wall out there. Missing a home run by a couple of feet. Nice job waiting back, not trying to pull it.
I've never seen him better than he is right now.
Right.
During this 2-week stretch for Gomez, he drove in 10 runs last week. More than a third of his season RBIs came in 1 week, and he earned co-player of the week with Drew Stubbs of the Reds for his efforts.
It's kind of one of those chicken or the egg things with Gomez, right? More playing time and he's going to hit better. But in order to get more playing time, you've got to be more productive. So he got hot at the right time.
Taking advantage of his opportunity this time. That puts a runner at second for Braun. Leadoff double by Gomez. So far, Braun has seen 6 pitches, all balls.
Nothing really close.
Hasn't taken the bat off his shoulder just yet. Braun was out of the lineup yesterday, has a blister on his left hand, right in the palm of his hand. And I'm always amazed at the Brewers athletic trainers, Dan Wright, Dave Yeager, their creativity to come up with pieces to cover injuries like that. You know, those aren't things you can just go buy at the store. You have to have these custom-made pieces that protect certain areas. And for Braun, the palm of his hand, that's probably not an easy area to protect, at least to keep a piece of padding there. And I guess what they've done is anchored it around the fingers. That's what you were saying, around the middle fingers.
Some neoprene. It goes right at the base of the hand, down through the pinky. He has something that wraps around the wrist. It only goes up about 2 or 3 inches.
And now 7 consecutive balls to Ryan Braun. That's why Braun's ability to play every day is so important. He knows that, even when he's struggling at the plate or if he's dealing with an injury, just his presence at the plate. And there's ball 4. So Braun walks on 4 straight pitches for the 2nd consecutive time.
Already 4th walk issued by Keuchel. And we're just into the 3rd inning.
He has helped himself with 2 double plays. He got Corey Hart to bounce into a double play to end the 1st inning. And then he started a 1-6-3 double play on Aoki last inning. Ramirez, another at bat with men on. And an RBI single his last time up.
Can't find those corners, can he?
And the Brewers aren't biting.
And you can tell he really doesn't want to challenge anybody because he's barely getting 88 miles an hour with his fastball.
Dropped an off speed in there for a strike. Keuchel just 24 years of age. He's a former Cape Cod leaguer, like yourself, Rob. Played in the Cape Cod League at 08.
A lot of big leaguers went to the Cape. It's hard to have any more fun in Cape Cod in the summer than you just can't. I mean, that's a good league, good competition, and a lot of fun.
That's a college wood bat league. A lot of the top college players in the country go to the Cape in New England. That one's driven deep right center field. Schaefer looks up, and that one is up and out of here. Aramis Ramirez, a 3-run home run. 5-1 Brewers.
Now 4 RBIs now for Aramis Ramirez, having himself a night. And it's only the 3rd inning. Only Keuchel had a tough time finding the strike zone and keeping the baseball down. And just can't find the corners. He was able to catch the corner on a 1-0 pitch and then got one up again. A little bit too much of the plate. Ramirez, just like Gomez, taking it to the opposite field. This time he knocks one out of here.
Corey Hart takes ball 1. Aramis Ramirez, number 13 of the year. Now 66 runs batted in as he drills that one over the fence in right center. And that home run by Ramirez puts him in a tie for first in the National League in extra base hits. That was his 50th extra base hit, and he's tied with Joey Votto for the National League lead in that category.
And doing a nice job waiting back, not trying to pull it, let the ball get to him, and let his strength do the rest. A lot of his hits in this nice hot streak for Ramirez, who is now at 292 for a batting average. That's hard to believe in itself.
Yeah, you start to wonder, you know, we really can't even call it a hot streak anymore. He's just a good hitter.
Right. Off to a slow start like he has for many years. But again, a lot of it has been to the opposite field, down the right field line, around towards center field.
I was talking to Garth Orge at batting practice today, and we were talking about Aramis Ramirez. Garth handles the infielder, so he has a lot of day-to-day interaction with Ramirez, and he was just raving about him. Just what a great player he is, what a great teammate he is. You know, Ramirez, to be truthful, has had a bit of a past concerning his teammates, his compatibility, especially with the Cubs, but that has not showed up at all here in Milwaukee. As a matter of fact, Ramirez is enjoying his time here. Every time I get a chance to talk to him, he says something about playing in Milwaukee, how much he loves Miller Park, the fans here, and every interview we've asked him to do, he's granted. He's been terrific.
You got to be careful listening to those quote-unquote labels, because the same thing carried over here with Betancourt last year. And he didn't see any of that.
Yeah, good point. Well, Ramirez is a really quiet guy. He's a guy that doesn't say much as Hart draws the walk. And Keuchel running into some big trouble here in the Brewers' 3rd inning.
They have 5 walks, no strikeouts on the day. Already down 5-1. Really has no command of any of his pitches here tonight. And that can be a very lonely feeling out there on the mound, and very difficult for Chris Snyder to call a game. You're just hunting for strikes. Anything he can throw for a strike.
There's a strike to Ricky Weeks. Nobody in the bullpen for the Astros. Keuchel is going to be allowed to try to get through this. 4 consecutive base runners, a double, a walk, a 3-run homer by Ramirez, and then another walk. 3 runs are in before there is an out in this 3rd inning. Bouncing ball to short. Gonzalez makes the play to get Weeks at first base. And there's the first out. Hart advances. Our carsoup.com email the booth question today. Trade deadline questions today. Molly in Arkdale asks, which team improved the most at the trade deadline? Yeah, there were a ton of trades made, and it started a couple of weeks ago, but the impact trades made, I think you'd have to put the Angels. We talked about this on our Brewers Live pregame show, but of course Zach Greinke was the big piece. But Rock, you said you like the Dodgers moves.
Yeah, these two guys right here that they picked up are going to help them a lot offensively. Wandy Rodriguez going over to the Pirates, and he will be added to an already very good starting rotation. See, Casey McGee went to the Yankees.
Well, that was a late move. McGee is going to be asked to take some innings for Alex Rodriguez.
Talk about a pressure cooker over in New York, huh? Go from Pittsburgh to Yankee Stadium for Casey.
I think the Reds move was the sneaky one there. We saw Jonathan Broxton been closing games for the Kansas City Royals. He'll be setting up Aroldis Chapman in Cincinnati, adding to what is already a very good bullpen in Cincinnati.
Ryan Dempster going to Texas.
Texas lost out on the Greinke opportunity. They were hunting around Matt Garza, it was reported, maybe James Shields, but at the end of the day they got the man they wanted in Ryan Dempster for two minor leaguers, two A-ball players. Dempster is supposed to start tomorrow for Texas. He was supposed to start tonight for the Cubs. He'll be pitching for the Rangers tomorrow night in Arlington against the Angels.
The Brewers are going to be glad that Ryan Dempster is out of the Central Division. That guy has given the Brewers fits.
Dempster was having a great year. 2-1 to Maldonado, misses away. Dempster leaves the National League with the second lowest ERA. Ryan Vogelsong is the National League leader in earned run average, 2.22. Dempster 2.25. Trade deadline was today at 3 Central. And there's still an opportunity to make trades. Now we're into the waiver period of trading as opposed to the non-waiver, which means a player has to clear waivers. He basically becomes available to every other team before you can trade him. It gets complicated with all of the paperwork, but doesn't mean you're not going to see any trades the rest of the season.
It just makes it more difficult. I mean, if one team claims them, doesn't mean that player has to go to that team. The team that has the player already can pull them off of waivers, but makes it very tough to make deals.
Chucky Thick loosening in the Astros bullpen. And you figure the end is near here for Dallas Keuchel. He has walked 3 in the inning. And the 7th batter to hit in this inning, Cody Ransom. 3 runs are in on the Aramis Ramirez home run. It's always interesting to watch teams post trade deadline. Sometimes the trades work, sometimes they don't. Bouncing ball to short. And a step on the bag at second, turn and throw. What a play by Marwin Gonzalez. Wow. And the first 3 innings have ended with double play balls. That was something special right there. Marwin Gonzalez. But Aramis Ramirez puts 3 on the board with 1 swing of the bat. It's 5-1 Brewers.
see the Brewers have got things off and running early with a base hit by Aramis Ramirez in the first inning, leading Noriel Oki, and in the third, a 3-run home run by Aramis Ramirez. Gomez doubled to lead it off. Ronnie walked for the second consecutive time, and Ramirez hit a blast in the right center.
And for Aramis Ramirez, home run number 13, his 50th extra base hit of the season. Nobody's had more in the National League. 5-1, despite each of the first 3 innings ending in double plays for the Brewers. Still 5 runs on 5 hits. Gallardo back to work. Steve Pearce leads off, and there is strike 1. Gallardo's given up 1 run. The home run by Schneider last inning, has a walk and a strikeout. A lot of baseball underway tonight in the big leagues. Phillies roughing up the Washington Nationals. Cliff Lee on the mound tonight. Phillies making some trades. The Hunter Pence deal to the Giants, a big one, an impact trade in my opinion.
And lost 2 outfielders today, did the Phillies. Pence and Victorino.
Good to see the Dodgers and the Giants back in contention together. That's always been a great rivalry, even going back to their days in New York. And the Dodgers were in Brooklyn and the Giants were in New York, in New York City, and it's good that they're back at it and competing with each other for players once again. Healthy for baseball, I think.
No doubt.
Last year at this time, remember, the Giants acquired Carlos Beltran, and I remember sitting here thinking that is a huge trade. That's going to pay off in a big way for the Giants, but it didn't. And as good of a year as Beltran is having with the Cardinals, he didn't do much for the Giants last season.
That's all about health for a guy like Beltran to get up there in age. Had knee problems last year and just couldn't get untracked.
That's what it looks like in the West right now in the National League. Dead heat at the top, and the Diamondbacks are still in it, just a game over 500, but just 3.5 back of the division. Pierce tomahawk chops one into center field for Gomez. 1 gone for Gallardo. Time to take a look at our Jimmy John's high-speed delivery. Keuchel topping out at 90. Gallardo's been as quick as 93 tonight.
Hey, Ivani, ordinarily going to see something in the 95, maybe 96 from time to time, but hasn't needed it quite yet. Hasn't been in much trouble tonight.
1 out for Brett Wallace. They're delayed in rain in Atlanta. The Braves lead 4-1 over the Marlins, bottom of the 5th inning. Huge disappointment in Miami this year. They were on a spending spree. They were the team of the offseason, the Hot Stove League. A lot of big acquisitions for the Marlins. Jose Reyes, Mark Burley, Keith Bell.
They traded Gabby Sanchez today.
Sanchez goes to the Pirates. Braves acquired Reed Johnson and Paul Maholm yesterday from the Cubs, showing up their starting rotation. So the Braves have the lead there. They're in the 5th inning and delayed. Cincinnati and San Diego all tied at 6. Padres snapped the Reds' 10-game winning streak yesterday. Padres had a 6-run 4th inning after the Reds scored 5 in the 3rd. It was 6-0 Cincinnati, and the Padres answered with a 6th spot to tie it. Yikes.
Stuff happens.
It does. Homer Bailey gave up those runs. Reds still the only team to have used just 5 starting pitchers this year. That's it. The 5 they started the season with, still at it.
Just the opposite last year. And a healthy team ordinarily is the one that's going to get to the postseason, make a run at the postseason anyway.
Full count to Wallace. Pirates are shutting out the Cubs tonight. A.J. Burnett, 4 no-hit innings at Wrigley Field. It's 4-0 Pittsburgh as they play in the 5th. Swing and a miss. Gallardo strikes out Wallace for the 2nd out. And the 2nd strikeout for Giovanni.
It looked like he pulled the string a little bit on that pitch. Maybe a cutter. It looked like he kind of took a little bit off of it. That's exactly what it was. And Wallace swings over the top. That was ball 4. But Wallace chased it.
Two up, 2 down. Here is Justin Maxwell. Drove in a run last night. Maxwell. A pinch hit appearance in the 9th inning.
This guy's got a shot to be a pretty good player. He does a lot of things well.
He's impressive standing in the box. Looks like a major power threat. Big home run hitter in the minor leagues. And he's hit 10 homers in the big leagues this year in just 174 at-bats. But down he goes. Gallardo makes quick work of it. Strikes him out on 3 pitches. Back-to-back Ks for Gallardo. And a 3 up, 3 down 4th.
Bottom of the 4th inning. Time to check in with the crew in the community. Brewers Community Foundation will feature the ultimate online auction beginning August 7th through the 21st. Go to brewers.com and check out the 13 exciting Milwaukee Brewers experiences that can be bid on for a good cause. Brewers Community Foundation supports health, education, recreation, and basic needs throughout greater Milwaukee. Brian?
All right, Telly, thanks. As Giovanni Gallardo leads off here in the bottom of the 4th, it is 5-1 Milwaukee. Gallardo with a squeeze bunt. It was a single and an RBI, as it turned out, back in the 2nd inning. Brewers have scored in each of the first 3 innings, and they've grounded into double play balls in each of the first 3 innings as well, as Gallardo fouls it back.
And so it could be a whole lot worse for Keuchel out there in the mound. Brewers have done a good job with runners in scoring position. 3 for 7 so far. 2 of them off the bat of Aramis Ramirez.
1-2 to Gallardo. Got him. correction. It is now to 2 strikes. I beg your pardon. I had him struck out. My apologies, Giovanni. I got to get my clicker fixed. Here's the 2-2 pitch, and that's ball 3. Excellent junior PA announcer this inning.
That was awesome.
Little Reed Barzak out of New Berlin.
He did a nice job.
They brought him to their feet here with his announcing of Giovanni Gallardo. He's ready for his next one. Nori Aoki. This should be fun.
Two names that aren't real easy for a little kid.
Or a grown man.
Right.
He's from New Berlin. Gallardo into center field. And Schaefer makes the play. All right, Reed, do it.
Now batting number 7, Naichika Aoki.
Nice. So see what I mean? He's got the shoulder shrug going and everything.
Yeah.
I love that kid already.
Making Rob Edwards nervous out here in the press box.
I mean, think about it. 5 years old.
Right.
He's belting it out like that. It's great. He didn't even mail it in and call him Nori like we do.
Yeah.
He went with the full name, Norichka. In spring training this year, we asked Nori, you know, his first name, the pronunciation. And the first question was, is it Norichika? And he goes, yes. I said, oh, I thought it was Norichka. He goes, yes. Either way.
Right.
But he says through his translator that it's more authentic if you say Norichka as opposed to Norichika. So then that's what we did. We started calling him Norichka.
Right. You're good at that.
Now we just want to get it right. We want him to feel at home. He said he would feel more at home.
It's good that you ask.
If we called him Norichka.
Nobody ever asks. They just pronounce it the way they want. You've changed the pronunciation of many names around here.
Not changed.
Villanueva was Villanueva for how many years until you came around?
That wasn't me.
Well, who was that?
That's Kosuke Anaji right there.
Right. Is that how you pronounce it?
Translator, yes.
Betancourt?
Yeah, that was I got chastised by the Hall of Fame Spanish announcer, Spanish language announcer, Jaime Harin. We weren't pronouncing his name correctly. Norichka Aoki bounces out. I say we hear from Reed again.
Number 27, Carlos Gomez.
That's great.
Yeah.
He's done now. You get 3. That's it. Then they take you for some ice cream. Get you all sugared up. Way to go, Reed.
Maybe some cream puffs. Going to make a run out to State Fair this year, are you?
Absolutely. Every year. Do some cow tipping out there. State Fair underway Thursday.
I'm going to do some mug tipping out there.
Yeah, I learned my lesson. Went to the State Fair with you the first year. That's a bad call.
Why?
Because people recognize you. You stand above the crowd. And then, you know, then you get lost in the shuffle. So it's best to just go alone now for me.
You're just going to be by yourself?
Or stay 10 paces back.
I love State Fair. I really do.
That is a perfect fit. Bill Schroeder and State Fair.
Yeah.
Great concerts out there. Coming up Thursday. I forgot what day it was for a minute there.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the Brewers will be off to St. Louis on Thursday.
Yeah.
Not unfortunately, but unfortunately that we can't go.
Concerning the state fair.
Right.
Eighty pitches for Keuchel, but he has 2 men out here in the 4th inning, trying to retire the side in order for the first time. The Brewers have scored in every inning against him. Five runs is a lot of runs early, but it could have been a whole lot worse without the double plays. 2-2 to Gomez. Got him. A strikeout. Gomez is retired. And a 1-2-3 inning for Keuchel.
It's his 5th inning of work, and tonight's timer of the game winner, Casey's Barbecue and Smokehouse in Egg Harbor. If they call the Brewers in the next 24 hours, they get 40 Miller Lite beer pen tickets. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite. You been to Door County?
No, I haven't, not yet. That's on the list, though.
Egg Harbor.
What's the ride to Door County at this point? About 4 hours from Milwaukee?
Something like that, I guess. Depends on how fast you go.
That's on my off-season bucket list.
Nice up there in the fall.
Yeah. Scott Moore leads off. And a swing and a miss. Gallardo back-to-back strikeouts in the 4th inning. He has retired the side in order in 3 of the first 4 innings. The run scoring inning for the Astros was the 3rd, a Chris Snyder home run. 5-1 Brewers as Moore strikes out. Gallardo has 3 in a row. A backwards K, and that's number 4 for Gallardo. It has been a monumental struggle for the Houston Astros, losing 26 of their last 29 games. Had a 12-game losing streak in there that was snapped on Sunday, and just not a whole lot going on. This is an organization that is rebuilding from the ground up, minor league system up through the major league system. Brad Mills in the final year of his contract, and wondering if he is going to be able to come back next year. He hasn't been given much in the toolbox to work with as they've gone through an ownership change, and the Astros are headed to the American League next year. They'll be in the American League West.
And when he took over, he started out with a pretty good ball club, but they've all been traded away last couple of years.
Hey, think about the names that they've lost. There's not one player from the 05 World Series team still on this roster. And some iconic names in Houston like Lance Berkman and Roy Oswalt, Hunter Pence. And this year making a number of trades. Cody Ransom takes care of Snyder for out number 2. They started with their trading on the 4th of July while the Marlins were here in Milwaukee. They traded Carlos Lee to Miami. They're talking about now the Marlins going to release Carlos Lee. And then it was a 10-player deal with the Blue Jays, trading away Jay Happ and Brandon Lyon. And then Brett Myers went to the White Sox. Wandy Rodriguez to the Pirates. And the last move was Sunday Chris Johnson, who hit a grand slam last night for the Diamondbacks. And with these trades, the Astros receiving 13 prospects for their minor league system in those deals.
And not exactly what you want to have going into a league shift and going into a very tough division next year.
Jordan Schaefer, one of those players that the Astros received in trade from the Braves for Michael Bourne. Gallardo puts a fastball right by him.
Yeah, he's got good command. That pitch on the inside outside corner. He's been throwing his curveball for strikes.
Tried another fastball. Schaefer doesn't bite. Hit hard, but Weeks pulls it down. Ricky Weeks, a little snow cone. Stabbed it at the last moment on a hot shot from Schaefer. The inning is over. Gallardo's retired 9 in a row as Ricky Weeks comes up with a gem. Brewers are swinging the bats tonight. 5 runs on 5 hits through the first 4 innings. Beautiful moon out there on a Tuesday night in Milwaukee. Great weather for baseball. Roof is open. Brewers and the Astros. Brian Anderson with Bill Schroeder and Telly Hughes. Chris Withers and Kevin Shank manning the operations in the truck. Our great crew here in Milwaukee. Ryan Braun leads off for the Brewers. It'll be Braun, Ramirez, and Hart. Ryan Braun has still not seen a strike. 9 consecutive balls. And the first strike he sees is a base hit to right. I think Braun just said, I'm swinging. That's enough.
I tell you, that was a pretty good pitch, though, by Keuchel. And that's what happens a lot of times to good pitches to Ryan Braun and end up into the outfield. Check it out. And down and away, and Ryan Braun goes down and gets it. He knows that Keuchel is going to keep the pitch away from him. He hasn't seen anything even close to the inner half of the plate.
And for a guy who loves to swing the bat, having to stand there and watch the first 9 pitches of the day go by. The 10th one results in a single, and now the speedy Braun at first. We'll see if he's on the move. Ramirez has already had a great day. He's driven in 4 of the 5 runs. And a shot past the second baseman Altuve. A 3-hit game for Aramis Ramirez. And the Brewers back in business in the 5th. 2 on to start the inning.
Yep, they hit the left, home run to left center, now base hit to right. And look at a cut fastball that he was trying to catch the outside corner and left it upstairs. And look at Ramirez, hits a bullet right by Altuve into right field.
And the batting average climbs. He's at .293.
Amazing, isn't it?
From .218.
Just a head shaker.
.218 in mid-May to .293 here on the final day of July. That is just sustained success. 2 on for Corey Hart. Milwaukee trying to deliver a knockout punch to the starter Keuchel, and it appears that they have, as Brad Mills is out to make a double switch, and Keuchel is done. So Mills will make the call to the bullpen. Chucky Fick is the new Astros pitcher. We'll set him up when we come back. Listen to these amazing and threatening with 2 on, nobody out, as we play in the bottom of the 5th inning. And a reminder that this copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Brewers, may not be reproduced, retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent of the Brewers.
Hey, you have a number of ways to get interactive with us on social media every night during our broadcast. You can tweet your questions to our handle at FS Wisconsin. Make sure you follow me and Craig at the handles at Brewers Fan Camp and at Craig Kashan. You can also get interactive with us through our Game Connect page at foxsportswisconsin.com. You know, tonight at Brewers Fan Camp, we're looking for instructional ideas
for a signed baseball if you're the chosen one. You see the changes for the Astros. Ben Francisco on left. That moves Maxwell to center. And Chucky Fick is the Astros pitcher to face Corey Hart. 5th game in the big leagues for Chucky Fick.
He was claimed off of waivers from the Cardinals on Friday. He made 2 relief appearances with St. Louis this year. No record. Made his first appearance with Houston on Saturday night and picked up a loss after giving up a run in 1 inning of work.
Big right-hander, 6'5", out of Thousand Oaks, California. Hart sends one deep center field. This is way back. And Corey Hart with a 3-run home run. He knew it when it left the bat. The second 3-run homer of the game. Hart's 20th of the year. And the Brewers open it up here. It is now 8-1 Milwaukee.
Typical Corey Hart home run, high and far. He gets under it and just keeps going right off the batter's eye out there in center field. So 2 3-run shots from Milwaukee. One by Ramos Ramirez, and now Corey Hart delivers. Both of them no doubters.
He's had a big season, another 20 home run season for Corey Hart. 20 homers, 53 runs batted in now.
20 home runs becoming a common theme for Corey Hart. 5 of the last 6 seasons he's had 20 or more homers. Putting together a nice career for Milwaukee.
Ron Renicky in his press conference before the ball game today was raving about Corey Hart, and the conversation started with his defense, but it got into more of a big picture, and Renicky talking about Hart as a first baseman now. The fact that he's played so well at first and he brings that power threat. At his endorsement for a long-term deal for Corey Hart, he said he'd love to keep him around. He thinks he's a game changer at first base.
Well, he saved the game last night, he and his Turris.
Ricky Weeks whistles one to center, but right at Maxwell for the first out. Ron Renicky from earlier today on Corey Hart.
I can't tell you exactly where, because that's Doug's decision. I've told Doug, though, that he's a difference maker at first base for me. Some because of the way he plays, and some just because of the physically he's huge. The other night, I think Ransom throws that ball high, and when it left his hand, I thought, oh no. And Corey just, I mean, his reach is tremendous.
No, not just the reach. I mean, he's really done a nice job with his footwork around the bag. I mean, you talk about a 6'6" guy that has a good reach, but he makes it even better by his footwork on the bag, and you can do that based on where you have your foot on the bag. You can reach even extra far, and he's got good soft hands. He's got good athleticism, and he's very smart. He's learned the position very quickly.
Maldonado takes a strike. And you start to look at Corey Hart's numbers, his career numbers in Milwaukee, and he's putting together a very good career. I remember a few weeks ago we had Craig Counsell in the booth with us, and he was talking about Hart and the kind of career that he's had. He kind of goes under the radar a little bit, and with such dominating players like Braun and Fielder, and of course Ricky Weeks has been an all-star as well. You know, Hart has been an all-star twice. And he said he loves Milwaukee and would love to be a lifetime Brewer if possible.
Yeah. He doesn't mind flying under the radar. You know, Prince Fielder and Ryan Braun. And you mentioned Ricky Weeks. Get a lot of talk, but Corey Hart very quietly has put together a nice career, as you talked about. Not just in not just at the plate.
Hart in his 9th year. He played in just one game in 04. So 8 full seasons in the big leagues, or what you would consider big league years.
Yeah, career .276 hitter. He's got 150 or 144 home runs. And getting close to 500 RBIs.
I was reminiscing with Hart, and you were here for that, but when he first arrived at the big leagues, and he was the guy who was replacing a very popular player here at the time, Jeff Jenkins. And he was talking about that transition, and it wasn't easy. Put a lot of pressure on himself.
That the organization stuck with him just like they stuck with Ricky Weeks. A lot of young players that came through the system all at the same time.
Cody Ransom, a 2-2 count. 8-1 Brewers. 2 3-run homers, Ramirez and Hart. Aramis Ramirez has 4 runs batted in. Meanwhile, Gallardo has given up just 1 hit, a home run to Chris Snyder. And Giovanni is retired 9 in a row now. He's picked up all 4 of his strikeouts in that stretch of 9 in a row. Ransom got jammed a little bit. And Maxwell for out number 2. I'd rock our AT&T trivia tonight, courtesy of Brian Mikulajic, doing whatever he does in the truck. 23 pitchers in Major League Baseball history have 300 or more career saves. Which 4 pitchers with 300 saves pitch for the Brewers? 4 of them have pitched for the Brewers. It's a good one. One of them's up on the wall out there. That's an easy one.
Yeah.
Gallardo, a little flare, right field. That is down foul. 0-2 the count.
Yeah, he was shaking out the bees out of that hand. He got jammed, but wouldn't have hurt as much if he dumped one inside that right field line.
Check it in the dugout. That one skips by Schneider and will roll into the Brewers dugout. 1 base for Maldonado. To second on a wild pitch. Gallardo had a perfectly executed squeeze bunt his last time up. A safety squeeze. It was so perfect he got a hit out of it. Strike 3 called, and the inning is over. But the Brewers do big damage again. 1 swing of the bat. That's 3 runs as Corey Hart, home run number 20. 8-1 Brewers. Home run in the 5th. And we head to the 6th inning from Miller Park. All Milwaukee so far. Well, during a season of inconsistency for the Brewers, rookie pitcher Mike Fiers has been almost automatic in the rotation. Find out what's behind his success and whether it can continue. Ryan Karchi has the story at foxsportswisconsin.com. Fiers is up tomorrow in the final game of the series with Houston. Back to our AT&T trivia question. The 4 pitchers with 300 saves that have pitched for the Brewers, the 4 of the 23. Trevor Hoffman, Raleigh Fingers, the newest Astro, Francisco Cordero, and Doug Jones.
Yeah, I didn't have him. That's a surprise, 300 saves. I had the others. Did you?
I did not have Doug Jones.
Right.
I had the others as
the
well.
other 3, right.
And of course, Francisco Rodriguez is close to that mark. There's a hot one over to third. Ramirez gobbles it up, and Francisco is out. His first at bat. K-Rod has 294 career saves, by the way. Our minor league report: Andy Moy down there in Brevard County in the Florida State League, named the pitcher of the week in the Florida State League. And Chris Davis of the Huntsville Stars, the batter of the week in the Southern League. A lot of good stuff going on in the Brewers minor league system, and they've added to that with the 3 players coming over in the Greinke trade. Gene Segura playing shortstop every day for the Huntsville Stars now.
Going to be an interesting spring training coming up, and interesting off season for Doug Melvin to see what he's able to put together. And you wonder who they're going to call up in September. Some guys having some nice seasons down in the minor leagues.
Yeah, guys like Hunter Morris down there in Huntsville, leading that league in home runs. Chris Davis, by the way, we just talked about him as the Southern League Player of the Week. He was promoted to AAA. Altuve with a base hit. Gene Segura, I didn't realize this. I was talking to Craig Counsell, and he said, you know, he hasn't played a whole lot of short. They moved him last year and had a hamstring injury, and so he's been playing second base, but you know, that might delay his arrival to the big leagues a little bit, because they say his bat is big league ready. He's got plus speed, a great arm, but he hasn't played a whole lot of shortstop, and you certainly don't want to put that on a young player.
Right. That's an important spot in the infield.
Segura started last night, had another hit, drove in 2 runs. Gonzalez pops it up to shallow center. Out number 2.
Yeah, there are positions where you can get away with moving a guy and having him learn at the big league level. Shortstop's not one of them. Middle infield is not one of them, really. It's too important up the middle.
That AA Huntsville team is a ball club full of prospects, with Hunter Morris having a great year at first base. Scooter Jeanette at second base. He was at the Futures game this year. And now Gene Segura at the shortstop position.
That Jeanette, all he does is hit wherever he is. Doesn't matter what level, he just hits. See him in spring training. He's got a good swing.
A strike called on Steve Pearce. Well, when you're the Brewers and you're in the position you're in right now, you feel like some pieces are in place to build around for next season. Bouncing ball to short. Cody Ransom makes the play. Nicely done. Gallardo is through 6. He's given up just 1 run on 2 hits. Wisconsin is presented by the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. By Miller Lite, because when friends come together, it's not just a good time, it's Miller time. And by Marathon Petroleum. Marathon, fueling the American spirit.
Egg at Fort Terrace reserves 6 tickets to select Sunday home games, 4 hot dogs, 4 small sodas, all for just $50. Tickets must be purchased at least 48 hours in advance. Call 414-902-4000 or visit brewers.com/family-days today. Sorry about the call.
That's okay.
Couldn't help it.
That makes it real, Rock. Just keeping it real.
A little bug. I don't know what it is.
Yeah. No reflection on your character. Nori Aoki leads off. Chucky Fick back on the mound. Brewers have 8 runs on 8 hits and an 8-1 ball game here in the bottom of the 6th. We're keeping our eye on a ball game in Chicago. The Pirates lead the Cubs 4-0. A.J. Burnett has no hit the Cubs through the first 6 innings. And he is cruising along.
He's having a nice year, isn't he? A.J. Burnett.
That was a big pickup for the Pirates. And be honest out there, what were your thoughts when A.J. Burnett was traded from the Yankees to the Pirates? Did you see the Pirates doing what they're doing? He's been a big part of what they're doing and one of the best pitching staffs in baseball.
Are you asking me or the?
No, that was just a question out there for the world.
Oh, I got it.
For our audience. I know what you were thinking.
Wasn't sure I was supposed to answer you.
I'll make eye contact with you when I want to address you.
You'll let me know when you want to hear from me?
Yes.
Okay.
You're on a need-to-know basis at this point. Aoki into left field, and there is the first out. So, for example, if I wanted you to offer some analysis on how good Carlos Gomez has been lately, I'll look at you like this. And then,
but you never do that.
Normally we do it like this, and then Rock does that. No, that's not true.
I was surprised at the way the Pirates have been playing. I think everybody's surprised that the Pirates hanging in there, as well as Cincinnati is gone. The Pirates have hung right in there.
They absolutely have. It's been very impressive. This is how we work it up here. As Gomez is hit by a pitch, and he's not happy about it.
That's a big man, though, to try to get through. Chris Snyder. Second time in as many games that Carlos Gomez has been hit by a pitch. Wally Bell, he's not a small man either.
So Gomez hit around the hands, and he got hit on the forearm yesterday, and I think it's in the same spot.
That ball never had a chance to get close to home plate. Tailing back in on Gomez. And Gomez a little upset about where that location was. A little bit upstairs, and watch where it gets him, right on the wrist, the front wrist.
Well, the pitch velocity was only 82 miles an hour, so certainly
doesn't matter if it gets boned on the wrist. Yeah. It doesn't have to be a big fastball, a lot of velocity. If you get it right, you can cause some big time problems.
Ryan Braun at the plate, presented by Wendy's. Saw 9 consecutive balls before he got a strike, and he hit one into right field. Slow roller to short, and a high throw is in time to get Braun. Gomez advances to second base. Now Gomez has been hit twice, and almost, well, the same spot, but yesterday, which is on your left, got him on the left forearm, and then the one today got him on the I beg your pardon, the right forearm yesterday, the left wrist today, it looked like.
Yep. So both wrists a little bit sore for Gomez. Chris Snyder might be close to one of the biggest catchers of all time. I mean, you don't normally see a guy his size behind home plate. He's 6'4", 240 pounds.
Think about some of the big catchers like Lance Parrish. You were one of those.
Yeah, Lance Parrish wasn't 6'4", I don't think.
No.
He was big,
right,
solid, but
probably 6'2", I think.
Carlton Fisk was up there, 6'3".
What are you? You 6'3"?
6'3". Yeah.
Sandy Alomar.
But you never should put me in the same sentence as Lance Parrish and Carlton Fisk.
You're in the same grouping with him when you talk about big catchers.
Right, sizes, yeah.
Sandy Alomar, I think, was, what was he, about 6'5"? He was long and lean, though.
Yeah, he was a tall guy. But, you know, you're talking 6'4", 240 pounds. That's a big boy. That's a big target for foul balls, too.
Yeah, a lot of space back there. That's why we could never figure out why Jason Kendall got hit so often with foul balls.
Yeah.
I've never seen a catcher get hit like that. As small as he was behind the plate, taking up half the space Chris Snyder does. I saw that Kendall retired a couple of weeks ago. Tried to make a comeback in the Royals minor league system and decided to hang him up. Ramirez down the line, foul.
I enjoyed time with Jason Kendall here in Milwaukee. He liked it with the Brewers. Everybody seems to like it over here.
What's not to like?
Right. Miller Park treats you well. Fans are great. Talk about a gamer. Jason Kendall.
Kid got a ball. He threw it back. Bouncing ball toward the middle. Gonzalez. Routine play to get Ramirez. And the inning is over. The Brewers lead 8-1. 6 in the books at Miller Park. Oh, don't throw it back. Good arm on that kid. In the books at Miller Park, our game summary brought to you by Toyota. Ramos Ramirez having a big day today. Ramirez with an RBI in the first, Gallardo a safety squeeze in the second, and then Ramirez a 3-run home run in the third. That wouldn't be the last of the 3-run home runs. Corey Hart in the 5th inning, his 20th of the season. And that made it 8-1. Ramirez with 4 RBIs, Hart with 3. And the Brewers rolling so far. Gallardo has been terrific on the mound tonight as well, holding the Astros to 1 run, a Chris Snyder home run on just 2 hits. Gallardo has given up that home run to Snyder, which was in the 3rd inning, and then a single to Altuve. Facing Brett Wallace to start the 7th. Some other games going on tonight. The Cardinals lead the Rockies 6-2. That'll be the Brewers' next opponent beginning Friday in St. Louis. Cardinals made a couple of trades as well. They picked up some bullpen help. Today they acquired Edward Mujica from the Marlins. They're trying to do this year what they did last year, and some supporting middle relief roles to push them along.
And Mujica, a good middle reliever, has got a good slider. San Diego, right?
San Diego to Miami, and then
right
to St. Louis. He's been on the DL a great deal with the Marlins this year. Little flare. Ramirez cannot make the play, just over his glove. And that'll be a base hit for Wallace.
Hey, good pitch by Gallardo, but Wallace doing a good job just getting a piece of it. Fastball in, slices it just over the head of Ramirez. The 3rd base hit. For the Astros all night here in the 7th inning. Just missed it.
Here's big Justin Maxwell now. A couple of games have gone final in the National League. The Phillies shutting out the Nationals. Cliff Lee picking up just his 2nd win of the year. He beat Strasburg. Strasburg gave it up tonight. 8-0 Philadelphia with the victory.
Even without 2 of their outfielders. Philadelphia able to put up some runs tonight.
It's got to be a shock to the system.
Yeah.
For the Phillies, they've been buyers at the trade deadline for so long. 5 straight division titles. Selling away some of their talent. Lee went 7 shutouts. Strasburg 6 earned runs in just 4 innings. As Maxwell strikes out, Gallardo picks up number 5.
Able to get that fastball in on his hands up a little bit. Maxwell not able to get the bat head out. Hey ladies, August 18th is Brewers All Access for Women, presented by Associated Bank. The event includes a game ticket, tailgate party, and an exclusive program. Learn more at brewers.com/access. It's a popular event every summer. I'm going to, that special program, I'm going to MC the Q&A.
But that's why it's special.
That's why it's special, yeah. Ron Renicky, Karen Renicky will be there. A player and his wife will be there.
How about your lovely wife, Kate? Big baseball fan.
She won't be there.
No. She has a day job.
She'd like to go.
Call it a work-related absence.
That's a well-attended event.
Two balls and a strike on Scott Moore. He homered off Gallardo in Houston first time around. First time we saw Scott Moore last month. He's 0 for 2 today. Gallardo struck him out in the 5th. Looking for that ground ball here, and that one's in the air. Easy play for Ransom, out number 2. Cincinnati went on to beat the Padres 7-6. Aroldis Chapman saved his 22nd. Reds acquired Jonathan Broxton from the Royals today to set up Chapman. Sean Marshall got the win in that game. Two outs, and here's Chris Schneider. The only blemish on the Gallardo line tonight, the home run he hit in the third.
Yeah, Gallardo is in pretty good shape with respect to the pitch count here tonight at 100. One more out to get through 7 innings.
That one's hit well to left. Back is Braun with room. He's got it just shy of the track. And Snyder is out. Gallardo is through 7 in the rocket chair against the Astros tonight.
Seven innings, the Brewers enjoying an 8-1 lead. It is time now for our social media interaction with you on Twitter at FS Wisconsin, at Brewers Fan Camp, at Craig Kashan as well. And Rock, you guys with Brian, of course, have been talking about Corey Hart and his progress at first base. High endorsements, of course, from Ron Renicky. Dan Boca wants to know, what is the criteria for winning a Gold Glove, and will Hart have enough starts to be considered? Interesting question. He's errorless so far in his starts over there.
Well, you really don't know. I think that reputation has a lot to do with winning a Gold Glove. You do it a couple of years in a row, and you might be considered. Unfortunately, the fact remains is that offense has a lot to do with the Gold Glove. I mean, and Corey Hart certainly has the ability to do that. He's made 50 starts is all, and I think maybe if he continues to progress at first base, you might consider Corey Hart for a Gold Glove next year.
I think right now you'd probably look at a couple of guys in the National League. Adam LaRoche of the Nationals and Joey Votto of the Reds. Not to say Hart hasn't played a good first base. He's played a Gold Glove caliber first base.
Right.
But that's an award that comes by after a little history. But he could do it for sure. And if you're at home, you're wondering, well, what does it matter what you hit to win a Gold Glove? Just part of getting your name out there as Hart beats the shift, a base hit to right. Astros had 3 infielders on the left side, and Hart drives it right through where the second baseman was. AT&T U-verse reverse replay tonight. Corey Hart, a 3-run home run in the 5th.
And got one out over the plate, did Checky Fick, and Corey Hart put some separation between the Astros and Milwaukee here tonight.
Second hit of the game for Hart. He's been on 3 times.
Yeah, the offense, part of the Gold Glove is, the offense gets you on the highlight shows. The offense gets you your name recognition along with good defense. So offense first, then defense, and if you continue to play good solid defense and continue to hit, then you get maybe an opportunity to win a Gold Glove. But it takes a couple of years over there at first base, no matter what position. Very rarely does a first-year guy ever win a Gold Glove. You have to do it over and over again. Is that right? Maybe not, but that's the way it is, or the way it's been.
On to the count on Ricky Weeks. Chucky Fick working his 3rd inning, and a bouncer foul. The Brewers have won 9 Gold Gloves in franchise history. The guy who had the corner on that market, speaking of an offensive first baseman, was George Scott. George Scott from 72 to 76. 5 straight years he was the Gold Glove Award winner in the American League at first base. Cecil Cooper won it a couple of times. Sixto Lezcano and Robin Yount the other 2. There have been 9 Gold Gloves, 7 times by first baseman in franchise history. As Weeks strikes out for out number 1.
And every one of those guys that you talked about had great offensive numbers. Robin Yount won it at shortstop back in 1982. And he became a pretty good center fielder too.
No Gold Glove as a center fielder, but an MVP. As Maldonado fouls one away right over the head of the on deck hitter, Cody Ransom.
And a few times that Maldonado's been able to swing the bat tonight. He's walked 3 times.
Brewers lead at 8-1. A pair of 3-run homers tonight. Bouncing ball in the hole. Gonzalez bobbles. Throw to first. Not in time. Skips away from Wallace. Everybody will hold their ground.
Well, Gonzalez is able to grab that right away. He's got an out at second base. I think he was thinking about the throw a little bit too soon. Once he bobbled it, no chance of getting Corey at second, and then he threw it away at first.
That'll go as an infield hit for Maldonado. 3 walks and a base hit today for the Brewer catcher. The 10th hit for Milwaukee. Two on, 1 out for Cody Ransom, who hit a 3-run home run last night. Pops this one up. Infield fly rule. And there is out number 2. Gallardo breezing along here. He's 7 in the books. A run on 3 hits so far. Trying to win for the 12th time in his career against the Astros, and with the big lead, Ron Renicky will send Travis Ishikawa to hit for him. 7 innings for Gallardo. Mike McClendon and Jim Henderson in the bullpen.
Nice bounce back start for Yo after a couple of rough ones.
Ishikawa out to short. Gonzalez flips to Altuve, and that's the inning. 8-1 Milwaukee. We move to the 8th. Astros coming to bat.
at Miller Park. The Houston Astros taking on the Milwaukee Brewers. It will be a warmer day, though. First pitch temperature already up to 83 degrees. Game time 1:10. Broadcast starting at 12:30.
All right, Justin, thanks. 12:30 for Brewers Live. Tomorrow, final game of the series, final game of the homestand. And the Astros, the final matchup. The Brewers would take Thursday off and then Friday through Sunday, a series with the St. Louis Cardinals. Friday and Saturday on Fox Sports Wisconsin, by the way. Mike Fiers up tomorrow against Houston. Giovanni Gallardo is up today for the Brew Crew, and our Pizza Hut delivery of the game. Gallardo's outing today. He goes 7 strong, just 1 earned run.
And one of his better starts of the year. He is looking to win his 9th consecutive start against the Houston Astros and go 12-2 career in 14 starts. He was never in trouble all night.
Big Jim Henderson is on the mound. He's been impressive in his first 3 outings. The Brewers are being very cautious with Jim Henderson, trying to get his feet wet in the big leagues, but he has been impressive. He was the closer down in Nashville, had 15 saves in AAA, and you can see why. He has found not just a big fastball, but has a swing and miss slider. It's been very impressive to watch.
Yeah, he's been throwing strikes. I mean, a guy that throws in the mid-90s, you wonder why it's taken him so long to get to the big leagues. It's all about command, throwing strikes. He's been doing that so far in his first couple of appearances up here.
10 years in the minors. Canadian out of Calgary, Alberta. Facing Brian Bogusevic. Hitting in the pitcher spot. And a base hit through the hole. Bogusevic. Man, this guy as a pinch hitter has been impressive. Now 7 for 17 this year as a pinch hitter. Text question tonight, courtesy of Ho-Chunk Gaming. Does Gallardo have increased pressure with Zach Greinke no longer on the team? Kerry in Waukesha asks.
I don't think so. I mean, Giovanni's going to go out there and do what he does. It doesn't matter who's on the starting rotation around him. Everybody has to pick it up just a little bit with Zach out there, pick up a few more innings. I think the onus is going to be a little bit more on the bullpen. You get a young kid in there, in this case Mark Rogers. You might not be able to eat up innings like Greinke was able to do, so those guys are going to have to start throwing better.
Ben Francisco. One ball, one strike. And Henderson finds a corner with a fastball.
Yeah, 94 miles an hour. He's got a little bit of movement with his fastball. It's not real straight. It can be, but he'll two-seam it from time to time and try and put you away with that good slider. Probably going to see one here.
Got it. Boy, that is a good slider. Good call, partner. And a strikeout for Henderson, the first out of the inning. Well, we're keeping an eye on A.J. Burnett in Chicago. The Pirates pitcher has no hit the Chicago Cubs. He's in the 8th inning, and that was out number 2 of the 8th inning. So 7 2/3 innings of no hit baseball. He's 4 outs away from a no hitter. The Cubs have not been no hit in 47 years, I think it is. Ransom backhands, throw to second is late. And 2 on for the Astros is Altuve.
Another base hit.
That's his second of the ball game.
And that's what happens when you put the ball in play. You don't strike out and give yourself a chance to get on base. When you make contact, that's what he does.
Now back to the no hitter by Burnett. Our buddy Bob Nightingale had a couple of good nuggets. The last no hitter against the Cubs, Rock, Sandy Koufax, 1965.
Wow. That's a good one.
Yeah. So the Cubs have not been no-hit in 47 years. And the last no-hitter at Wrigley Field was Milt Pappas. Milt Pappas in 1972. And of course you remember that one with our buddy Bruce Fremming behind the plate.
Could have been a perfect game, but it wasn't.
Milt Pappas still says it should have been a perfect game, and Bruce Fremming, who was at the ballpark tonight, responds by, if you would have been perfect, it would have been. But you threw a ball and you walked a guy.
Maybe ask Bruce about that perfect game by Milt Pappas. Should Burnett get the no-hitter tomorrow? I bet he'll be here tomorrow.
Sure. He's not afraid to talk about it.
Let's make sure you're with a little bit further than arm's reach length.
Bruce Fremming has no doubt in his mind about that call he made. And he said if back in 1972, if they'd have had all the replays and the equipment that we have now, he would have been proven correct. Well, here's Cardenas, and the no-hitter's over for A.J. Burnett, just like that. Adrian Cardenas for the Chicago Cubs breaks up the no-hitter. A.J. Burnett still working on a shutout.
He's one of those guys, every time he goes out there, you potentially see a no-hitter. Great stuff. He's having a great year. Brewers beat him here at Miller Park. What did he win, 10 in a row at one point?
Got a win for the Yankees in the postseason last year. Burnett has a no-hitter. Did that with the Marlins. That was way back in 2001 when he no-hit the Giants. Two and two on Marwin Gonzalez. Henderson deals and a bouncing ball. Ricky Weeks, his only play is first. There is the second out. Well, they've been hawking this game here, Rock. And check this out now. This is prior to the hit. This was a pitch that
looked good. Strike three.
Burnett thought he had strike three. And then on a 2-2 count, look at this one.
Yep. No, that's what amazes me about, how pitchers even come close to no-hitters based on these strike zones these days. I mean, he was struck out the pitch before. The curveball might have been outside, but that fastball is a strike.
Mm-hmm. And then the next pitch, Cardenas delivered with a base hit. Got 5 no-hitters already this year. Oh, 0-2 on Steve Pearce. Henderson trying to work himself out of a jam. He's given up 2 hits, a single to left and an infield hit. The 0-2, Pearce fouls it back. 96-mile-an-hour fastball.
And Pearce was right on it. Had a little bit of an uppercut on it, fouled it straight back. I tell you, we've been watching Pearce in this series, first 2 games, and he likes the ball away from him. It's pretty good opposite field power. Seems like he, even with that practice swing, looking to shoot the ball back through the middle into right field.
Another 0-2. And he spoils that one foul. I think this is the kind of situation that Renicky and Rick Kranitz, the pitching coach, would be interested to see Henderson get out of and how he goes about it. Pierce has that opposite field swing. Maldonado wants one up and in, and it drills Pierce. He got him on an 0-2 pitch.
They're trying to come inside. Maybe that's why he's trying to put that fastball in the outside corner. Not a lot of margin for error in there. You come in there and get it too far in. That's what happens. You hit somebody and you leave it out over the plate and they hit it off the wall somewhere. That's why it's very difficult for pitchers these days to pitch inside. And that not even close.
And that will load the bases as Rick Kranitz is on his way to the mound. So Henderson back to work. Bases loaded behind him with 2 away. And Brett Wallace, the batter. Wallace is 1 for 3 today. Jumping on that first pitch, fastball by him. Oh, and 2. Another good fastball from Henderson. Henderson will be 30 in October. Been a long road to get to the big leagues. He was originally a draft choice by the Montreal Expos back in 03. 0-2 the count. And he got him. A strikeout. Down and in with a slider. And Jim Henderson leaves it loaded in a scoreless 8th inning.
As we go to the bottom of the 8th, Davey and Craig getting set for Brewers Live postgame coming up after the ball game. And two guys are going to be centered on a lot. Of course, it's Ramos Ramirez and Corey Hart, responsible for much of the run production tonight.
Boy, they certainly are. They've got 5 of the 10 hits, and all of a sudden you look up there, 7 of the 8 runs are by those 2 guys. And you know what? I'm sure Ron Reinke has loved to see that. And Ramirez continues to heat up, and swing the bat well. Corey's doing his thing.
Our Marshfield Clinic shining moment. These 2 guys providing a lot for the Brewer offense. We'll talk about that and much more coming up after the ball game. Full reaction from the clubhouse as well, Brian.
All right, Craig and Davey, thanks. Looking forward to Brewers Live tonight. Brian Bogusevic will stay in the game to play right field. Pierce is out. And the new pitcher, Reiner Cruz, as he'll face the top of the order. He slings one in.
He's got a pretty good arm. Control has been his issue this year. 18 walks in 34 innings to go along with the 27 strikeouts. And that's the reason for that big earned run average, the walks.
Nori Aoki, so far tonight, has a hit. He singled, stole a base, and scored a run in the first inning. He's 1 for 4. That one's ripped foul down the right field line. Had some heat on it.
There's an example of what I was talking about. The guy's got a good arm, good movement on a 94-mile-an-hour fastball. Gets behind him. And you throw a 2-0 fastball like that, I don't care how hard it is, guys are going to be able to turn on it. 34 innings, giving up 5 home runs. Go along with those 18 walks.
Well, a win tonight for the Brewers would pull them even on the homestand, 3-3, with 1 game to play tomorrow. Mike Fiers on the mound tomorrow against Jordan Lyles. There's a strike, 3-2 on Aoki. Ron Reinke has set his rotation for the Cardinals series. Randy Wolf will pitch Friday. Mark Rogers will get another start. He'll go Saturday, and then Marco Estrada Sunday. Anxious to see what Mark Rogers can do at his follow-up start. There's ball 4. Aoki walks. So Cruz walks his first batter face to now Carlos Gomez. Had a double and a run scored in the 3rd inning. He's 1 for 2. A sac bunt and a hit by pitch in his other 2 plate appearances. Buckled his knees a little bit. Gomez has his batting average up to 250. Nigel Morgan will hit next for Braun, it looks like. His double in the 3rd almost went out of here. He hit it halfway up the wall in deep right center. There's a strike, 2-2. White Sox have just beaten the Minnesota Twins 4-3. Liriano getting his first start for Chicago. It's fouled back. Be a good race in the American League.
Yeah.
Tigers and the White Sox in the American League Central.
Yeah, game and a half. Difference between Chicago and Detroit. Cleveland right in there, 5 games back.
Gomez with a base hit. The hits keep coming for Carlos Gomez. On his way to third goes Aoki. Gomez right behind him to second. How about the base running by the Brewers?
Kind of lackadaisical play out there and left. That's good. Aggressive base running by the Brewers, and they've been doing that for a while now. That play has been very good. A hanging slider from Reiner Cruz, and Aoki, being very aggressive. You could see the play by Justin Maxwell. That's probably going to be an error. Actually, Ben Francisco out there. Maxwell's in center.
Well, both runners advance, and it gives Nigel Morgan a chance to drive in some runs. Morgan pinch hitting for Ryan Braun. Braun finishes 1 for 2 with 2 walks.
They didn't give an error on that?
Not yet.
How can that not be an error? Ball went right under his glove, and Aoki went to third base. I don't think he would have gone to third had Francisco had that ball in his glove. Or am I missing something?
No, you're not. You're right on it. As always. 0-2 to Morgan. Nobody out in the inning. A walk and a single. Second and third for Morgan. The 0-2 pitch is down and in. I was looking at that box score from the White Sox game. Francisco Liriano facing his old team, and those 6 innings, 2 runs. That's a big start for the White Sox. Open to taking a flyer on Liriano. There were a lot of reports that the White Sox were involved with the Brewers for Zach Greinke. There's a base hit, and that's going to bring in a couple of runs. In to score Aoki. Here comes Gomez and Nigel Morgan. A 2 RBI single. It is 10-1.
Yeah, Cruz getting a lot of the play with his pitches, and he hung a slider to Gomez and gave Morgan a pretty good pitch to hit with 2 strikes. That pitch right down the middle. Nice short stroke by Nigel Morgan. Drives in 2. A little flare in the center field. They were giving Morgan a lot of room out there in right center, and that's exactly where he put it.
Well, had a 2-run home run last night and a 2 RBI single tonight. Nigel Morgan. Cesar Izturis pinch hitting. Sends that one deep to right center field. Maxwell's got a long way to go, and he makes the catch. And Morgan almost to third base, has to retreat. And no chance. Easy double play. Nigel Morgan was 3 steps from third base. Terrific play by Maxwell.
Yeah, that was a heck of a catch. Boy, he had a long way to go to get that one. They weren't figuring Izturis to pull this baseball. Watch where he starts. He's around toward left. Look how far he goes. Angles back nicely, and on the warning track, Nigel Morgan had no idea where the baseball was. Never did look at Ed Cedar, the third base coach, until it was too late. That's one heck of a catch out there in center field.
Started the game in left field. Running them down like a center fielder there. So 2 outs. Corey Hart a chance at a 3-hit game. He is 2 for 3. Hit a 3-run homer back in the 5th inning. And he's hitting .268 now. 20 homers for Hart. 53 runs batted in for the season. Shortstop Gonzalez, long throw, and it's in time for the out. Close play at first base. Hart is out. Inning is over. The Brewers get 2 more. Well, been a fun night for the Brewers. Nigel Morgan pinch hitting for Ryan Braun. He drives in 2 runs. 2 RBI single, making it 10-1. Morgan stays in left field as Turris takes over at short. That bumps Cody Ransom over to third base. And the new pitcher is Francisco Rodriguez, and a good opportunity for him tonight to try to work on a few things. There's been a monumental struggle for K-Rod here lately. But these are the kind of games when hopefully you can dial it back in and get back to the K-Rod of old.
Yeah, working on some mechanical issues. Rick Kranitz, and on flat ground down the right field line just about every day. Get here early before the ball game, working on his mechanics and trying to get more consistent in the strike zone as K-Rod. It's a good opportunity for him to work on something.
They'll ask if he went. No, he didn't, says Wally Bell. Maxwell in a 1-1 count. Brewers could use an easy one. This was the kind of game they've been needing. A lot of leads getting away lately. It's been a struggle for Milwaukee. But the pieces are there to put some things together. Ron Renicky was very upbeat today, trying to keep things positive, moving forward. Nothing you can do about what has happened through the first 2/3 of the schedule. Try to make a finish, whether it's in a game you want to give them a finish, or in a season you want to give them a finish. I think you look at the Dodgers last year and the way they finished the year. sitting in about the same position as the Brewers are this year, last season at this time, and the Dodgers finished strong. They finished over 500, and that carried over to this season.
You never know what it's going to take to turn an organization around, and heavens knows where that pitch misses. Everybody in the ballpark, but Brian Knight thought that was a strike. I mean, it was a strike.
All right, pick your spot.
And he misses a pitch, doesn't call it a strike, and then Jerry Naring gets thrown out. That ain't right.
So Brian Knight, a quick toss of Jerry Naring. Now Renicky is out.
Now who's the aggressor here? Tell me who the aggressor here is. You know, these days, nobody's allowed to say anything to any of the umpires.
There goes Renicky.
Yeah, Brian Knight misses a call at home plate on a strike, and he throws out 2 guys. Where's the justice in that? And he's still barking at Ron Renicky. What happened to the days when the umpires were supposed to be the voice of reason? Where did those days go?
I mean, it's 10-1. It's in the 9th inning. It was a pretty good pitch.
It was a good pitch. It was a strike, and he missed it, and he threw 2 guys out.
So he barked at him, and that was that. So the manager and the bench coach,
terrible,
are both out. And Maxwell takes a called strike 3.
That's all it takes. Just ring a guy up. Just call a strike, and nobody's going to be upset.
Who's your acting manager right now, Rock?
Good question. Rick Kranitz.
So in a 10-1 game, here's the pitch that is in question. That's
a strike. Let's not mince words here. It's a strike. And that was less of a strike than the other one. It just has A.J. Burnett about the strike zone these days.
I mean, that was an eruption by Brian Knight.
Yeah, I mean, he's the guy that got upset. I mean, it used to be where you were able to say a few things in the dugout, you know, and kind of complain, but I guess not tonight.
Scott Moore rips one foul. Well, the Brewers welcoming in Lee Tunnel, the interim bullpen coach. There's Lee, pitching coordinator in the minor leagues, just arriving today. A few more coaches get tossed out. He'll be managing this. This ball club the rest of the way. Two and two on Moore. I'd say the 2 most mild-mannered men on the ball club. Jerry Naring and Ron Renicky.
Yeah.
Naring was fired up. Both ejected here in the 9th inning. And there's a called strike 3. So K-Rod with back-to-back strikeouts.
I was able to catch the plate with this breaking pitch. Actually change up, and good job by Martin Maldonado to frame it, making it look good.
2 outs now. And here is Chris Schneider.
So I guess Naring and Renicky getting thrown out maybe made a statement. 2 ring ups here.
They know what they're doing.
On borderline pitches.
They know what they're doing.
That's excellent bench coaching, and
he's just working the system. You wouldn't think in a 10-1 game an umpire would be so upset. You think?
You say just let it slide.
I mean, let him go. I mean, you know, it's been a rough year.
In the left field, Nigel Morgan closing, and he's got it, and that's the ball game. The Brewers have won back-to-back games. 3-3 on the homestand now. A chance for a winning homestand with a victory tomorrow as they wrap it up against the Astros. Giovanni Gallardo picks up his 9th win, a 10-1 victory over the Houston Astros tonight. Craig DeShawn standing by. What do you have coming up on Brewers Live, Craig?
Well, we're happy to cover this one in the clubhouse. We're going to interview the players, of course, Corey Hart, Aramis Ramirez, big home runs in this game, and also Ron Renicky. See what he has to say about getting ejected in the 9th inning of a 9-run lead when we come back to Brewers Live.